Hello, my name is Joshua Tillman. I am the CEO and founder of DialSource. DialSource has been the global leader in telecommunications, sales acceleration, and analytics for Salesforce.com since 2009. I'm going to begin our presentation showing a 90-second video of some of the work we've done with inside the NBA in the results, in the applications of using Salesforce.
At the Sacramento Kings, we've been very focused on what we call NBA 3.0. We've been focused on, among other things, how can we use technology to enhance the fan experience, and how can we use technology to improve our performance both on and off the court.
As the Sacramento Kings prepare to open the world's smartest arena, you can imagine the type of demand that we have for people who want to be a part of that. This is a game changer for the city and the region, and there are thousands of people who want to be in a seat on opening night. In fact, we're currently sourcing a list of all the people who want more information and want to guarantee that they have that seat. So for us, using a tool like DialSource is so key to that process.
The work we're doing with DialSource is really central to our overall philosophy of how we can become more efficient or more analytical, or truly just how can we do things smarter in a faster way.
With DialSource, the Sacramento Kings are able to become a supercharged, more efficient sales organization. We're able to make 10 times the amount of dials that we would make in a typical day. We've had a 500% increase in our live connections, which means that my staff is spending most of their day actually talking to people versus leaving voicemails, or versus dialing the phone, or versus searching out who's the next person I should call. DialSource does all that for us behind the scenes so that their time is best spent talking to live people. In fact, overall, we now see that we get 20% of our season ticket sales directly attributable to our DialSource activity. For our sales staff, it takes a lot of the guesswork out of their hands. It's not just a speed dialer. They're getting teed up who to call, when to call, why to call. It makes them so much smarter, which allows them more time on the back end to go out and prospect and find new leads and nurture their current leads in a whole new way. It's made us more efficient. It's made our reps more confident. I don't know where we'd be without it.
I'd like to thank our friends at the Sacramento Kings for helping us put that video together and the problems that we have been solving for them. And so we can see here why sales acceleration. It's not only a hot topic in Silicon Valley, in Wall Street, where we have a large footprint, but also in professional sports and in academia. And so all these organizations are using a CRM in one capacity or another. And so our technology in this industry segment is going to dramatically help with the problems of inefficient fan engagement, with the frustrating marketing tools, whether it be the CRM itself or the integrations of the CRM. And so with DialSource, as we saw in the video with the Sacramento Kings, we're going to be able to provide the analytics of who to call, why to call, when to call, what happened on the conversation, what level of interest or not interest did that particular individual have in a single buyer ticket, a six-pack, season tickets, suite tickets, for example. This actionable intelligence is real-time reportable with inside the CRM so that this management group can make these actionable and intelligent decisions while our technology helps to humanize the communication experience. One of the unique aspects of our technology over the last 6 or 7 years is what we refer to as post-call automation. Not just place the call to the right person, but also automate the time-intensive activities that sales and service departments need to do at the end of the conversation. These are not only time-intensive and labor-intensive, but have a high degree margin of error, and so we want to take 10, 15 minutes of activities at the end of the conversation and automate them into a single click of a button. And we can do this because we're the only native communication application worldwide for Salesforce.com, and we're pleased to be announcing here at NSF the first native communication system for Microsoft Dynamics. We had quite a lot of success in 2015 with those organizations that were using Salesforce.com, and spent the better part of the last 12 months releasing this solution, and we'll be showing it throughout the presentation here. So what is post-call automation? This simple infographic will show us, as just a couple examples, not only placing the correct call, but then prompting the agents to perform the right actions at the end of the call and automate the standardized activities like taking ownership of a record, logging the activities, logging the notes, assigning a task to another department to now engage, updating formula fields, running procurement systems, opening net new opportunities in the CRM, updating the stage of the opportunity in the CRM, sequencing external systems from the CRM, and providing an unlimited amount of actions in real time. And so as I mentioned, we're very pleased here at NSF 2016 to be showing and announcing the DialSource Microsoft Dynamics 2015 application. We have some interesting projects that are coming up next month with the San Francisco 49ers and the National Sales Center at MLS. We've been working with Jeff very closely, bringing in our technology to help solve these type of problems. And so it's not just the application of technology itself, but as I had mentioned, the focus of our technology is to humanize the customer experience in sales and in service by nurturing the bond between our community and the home team. Something that I'm proud to do in our hometown in Sacramento, and some things we've done with other organizations like Stanford Athletics, just to name a few. So not only do we have a decent footprint in Wall Street, in Silicon Valley, but as I mentioned, we're starting to work through academics. One of the new engagements we have is with the Aspire Group and the University of Texas, who has been setting all kinds of precedents by using DialSource for Salesforce. This quantifies some of the results that we will be talking about on the panel tomorrow, and the numbers in black are pre-DialSource. So if we take a look at the Sacramento Kings, they were averaging about 65 calls per day per agent. After DialSource, increased that number to 175 calls per day. But of course, dials are meaningless without conversations, intelligence, and analytics. So we were able to increase the live conversations per day per agent from, let's say, 19 to 39. That's a significant uptick, as you can see. That's a 171% increase in calls per day. And that's 171% increase in calls per day and 107% in live conversations after the adoption of DialSource. Stanford Athletics is an account we've had that just went into their second year contract with us after the Rose Bowl. We were happy to be a part of this and helping them understand their KPIs at the end of that so they can readdress and retarget alum, association, etc. And you can see by the numbers here, even more staggering. 371% increase in calls per day at Stanford Athletics and a 511% in live conversation. We were able to help Stanford Athletics achieve all kinds of new precedents throughout the year, where we were able to break net new ticket sales revenue, the highest in franchise history. We're very proud of that. In some of our studies we've done with the NBA, they've figured out that with our post-call automation, with our analytics, we were able to compress 8 hours of activity into 1 hour of activity. It's not just the time savings, but the increase in compliance by logging the right activities in the right places in the CRM, updating the right opportunity stages, sending the right emails, who's looking at the emails, calling the individual that looked at the emails so we can intelligently engage with our recipient audience in real time, not only flattening the sales experience, but also the service experience, so that when we're talking to the leads, to the contacts, we're treating the suite holder who spends $1 million a year with our organization differently than somebody who's looking at buying a 6-pack of tickets on the website. This actionable intelligence allows us to set new precedents, and so we're fortunate to have our panel tomorrow, I believe at 2 o'clock, where the Sacramento Kings and Stanford Athletics will be talking about the problems prior to this intelligence and analytics and the outcome of that. That being said, what kind of questions can I answer for the panel and the group? Yes?
Let's say you don't make calls. Your organization is not like Texas. I'm at Iowa State, and we don't have a sales force that makes outbound calls. How could you use this for collegiate athletics that don't have a sales force?
Wonderful question. So Mary, one of the features that we've been working on for the last 3 years and we're releasing next quarter is the inbound calling application. And this really drives down on the customer service application. So if I call into your organization, I'm most likely going to hit the IVR, press 1, press 2, press 3. Somebody's going to answer the phone and say, who are you and what can we do for you? With our inbound system, we're going to be able to recognize your caller ID, tag it against all the activity history in the CRM. Who are you? What have you engaged with? What have you purchased? Who's your account executive? Ring the account executive's desk. They pick up the phone. I see all your activity history within the CRM. Say, hi, Mary, I see there's a game this evening. Are you having any issues? What can I do for you? And so this flattens the customer experience to always be dealing with the right person intelligently, as opposed to where we've been concentrating for the last 10 years on the outbound analytics side. So this, in essence, flattens the engagement from sales and service intelligently into the CRM.
Can you talk a little bit about? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Can you talk a little bit about the customer experience on the other end of the phone? Is it they're picking up and silence for a while it's finding a rep, or?
Wonderful question. When we started out about 12 years ago, our initial claim to fame, and we still hold it, was we were the first multi-line dialing technology to solve dead air, that latency that you're talking about. And so when I call you through DialSource, there's no latency. You answer the phone, it's just like I called you on your cell phone. Hey, how you doing? What can I do for you? We have a feature called Regional ID, which will always show a local phone number to the recipient. You're much higher to answer a local phone number if you see it, the same number that's on your cell phone. If you miss that call and you call that local number back, I, as the client, can dictate where does that ring. Does it ring Josh's sales desk? Does it ring, because I'm the account executive, does it ring the inside sales line? Does it ring a support? So for example, if you have an open case, technical problem or a billing problem, we can see that open activity in the CRM and route that inbound phone call into the right department instead of hitting the IVR tree and pressing 1 or pressing 2 or pressing 3, and always connect the right rep to the right agent, thus providing a more intimate and real-time experience inbound and outbound.
Can you talk about your Dynamics integration that you're announcing here? Where is that timeline-wise, and how quickly do you think that'll catch up to what you've done with Salesforce?
Great question. So we were at ALSD, and there was a lot of demand. A lot of companies came up and said, we heard about the success in Salesforce, we're on Dynamics. We put a significant amount of resources around the clock. We're going to be launching to specific clients, the 49ers and MLS, within about the next 45 days. And then we're going to go GA in mid-Q2. It's quick. We're going to do general release.
Good, thank you.
Wonderful questions. What else can I answer for anybody in the room or on the panel?
Can you-
Josh, do you have any statistics or any kind of data on how it affects the callers to have to now have all these different conversations now, so many more than they've had in the past? And is there more fatigue on the part of the callers as a result?
Wonderful question, thank you. So by having this actionable intelligence contained within the CRM, we can make sure that we're touching the right hot points for that particular client, whether they are engaging in purchasing of something from the organization or they're calling in to address a technical problem. And so by presenting the right information to the sales or service team, we can really drill down on the customer experience, the customer engagement right then and there, log all the right information, and actionable intelligence moving forward in building the relationship and the engagement of the fans. Yes.
Do you guys, this sounds all very ticketing specific. Does it extend to like more the sponsorship side as well?
Yeah, sports is relatively new for us. We've been in sports for maybe 4 years or so, but our application ranges from the American Diabetes Association, which uses DialSource, and lots of nonprofits that are using DialSource. We're working, as Texas an example, to move from just the athletics department into endowment and fundraising. And so when you really break this down, what we're doing is we're creating this actionable intelligence and humanizing this customer engagement so that we have the right data to ask the right questions and formulate informative answers as a result. And so our technology is used all over the place. And we're in discussions with even organizations from Uber to Twitter that are interested in deploying out DialSource to help flatten these engagements as well. Yes.
What are the economics for a property or team?
It's a great question. I know Kevin Holman from Stanford was talking to me last night about this, and they said they had a positive ROI within 3 weeks of paying and signing for their contract. 3 weeks.
Is it a user, like a per user fee, or?
Yeah, so yeah, it's a license fee. So there's DialSource Enterprise Edition and DialSource Professional Edition, different price points per seat per month. And then there's a telephony usage, a few cents a minute to connect all this together. One of the unique things with our technology is we're hardware and software agnostic. And so instead of having to come in and redo a phone system, a Cisco or Polycom, et cetera, phone system, you plug in your 10-digit phone number in the user profile in Salesforce or in Dynamics, and we auto-append to connect all the phone systems together in seconds. And so it's minutes to deploy, it's hours to configure, and you're up in the same day. And we routinely go into organizations and get this up and going in 1 day.
Can you talk any more about the post-call automation and
Absolutely.
the removal of the human aspect from the note-taking and all that type of stuff?
Absolutely. So it's important to note that we are always connecting a live person to a live person. That's the humanizing aspect. The post-call automation is quite unlimited. It really can automate an unlimited sequence of activities at the end of the conversation. So like in the CRM, you have a pick list, or in Salesforce, you have what's called the process builder. It's a flow chart in essence. And you can say, when this happens, do this, do this, do this. If these conditions are met, do this or don't do that. And so we can build out all these sequences. So really the differentiator becomes, can it be automated or is it not? So if you tell me, call me at Tuesday at 11:25 a.m., that can't be automated. Everything else can be based on the outcome of the conversation. I can choose a button and sequence Eloqua or Marketo to send you the right template. Then you looked at it, we know you looked at it, and we'll call you as soon as you watch that video saying, hey, I noticed you watched that video. What kind of questions can I engage with you 2 seconds after the fact? So in essence, post-call automation has the ability to update and automate an unlimited sequence of field updates and actions within the CRM, and additionally instruct external applications to take real-time action at the end of the conversation. So I might say, I'm interested in a 25-pack of football tickets for Stanford. Put in 25 tickets, run the formula field, choose the interested disposition at the end of the call, run the formula fields, and pass that into the Ticketmaster system, pass it into a billing engine, send out the tickets, send out the contract management. Sky's the limit in the automation. It's taken the better part of half a decade to build that system.
Thank you, Josh. That's,
Thank you very much.
answer here.
Thank you very much.